23rd, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Happy birthday too. And this is interview 909. So we are here with Hakeem Rashid. We are well off on the road to 10K shows. Thank you all so much for being patient with us. We apologize for the technical issues, but welcome to the Dollhouse. It is such a pleasure to have you here. Yes, yes, yes. How's 2026 been for you thus far? Uh-oh, we lost Hakeem. Fashion Dolls. Welcome as you're just coming in. Shout outs to my brother, host of the K2 Spot. If you guys please go and subscribe to his channel and his platform. Amazing platform. And we've done a couple of collaborations. So y'all may see me. Can y'all hear me? Give me some green hearts if you can. Again, we apologize for the technical issues that we're having here currently right now. YouTube has been on some BS. I literally had to email him the link so that he would be able to join me, but we got it
Okay,
now.
I am back. Can you hear me?
You're welcome back.
All
Like
right,
you were saying,
excellent. Yeah, YouTube is this it's interesting, but yes. Again, thank you for having me here. So you asked how's 2026 been for me? We were on tour last month with one of my bands. We were in New York, New Hampshire, Philadelphia. Aside from a little bit of the driving weather, everything went great. So it's we're staying busy.
yes, yes, you are an singer and songwriter, and I'm going to quiz Hakeem's knowledge at the end of the show on Black music history. All right, so we're going to be getting into that later in the show. But I want to get into your story. Now, you were born and raised in Pittsburgh, PA. Is that correct?
Yes, born and raised, and reside here currently.
At what age did you discover your passion for music? Who were some of your influences growing up?
Yeah, so I decided to get serious about it, I guess, in my teens. So essentially, I was a member of the Boys and Girls Club when I was a kid. They had this talent show, and I didn't have any other talents, and wasn't really sure I had singing talent either. But my mother was a singer, so I said, well, maybe she'll help me. And that was just kind of the beginning of it. I stepped on stage. I didn't win, but I loved it, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's shaped a lot of my journey.
With you not winning, because there have been so many artists who went on shows like what was it at the time, Star Search, and so many
Yeah.
others, and they haven't won.
Mhm.
One of my favorite singers, and I love this woman to death, is Aaliyah. I love her. She went on Star Search,
God rest her
and
soul.
she,
Yeah.
you know, remember the performance. Another would be another one of my favorite female artists, Beyonce, and
Yes.
her girl group. At the time, it was Girls' Time before it
Right.
became Destiny's,
That's right.
and they didn't do well. So a lot of artists went on these shows. Remember Lauren Hill went on the Apollo. You guys know the performance, and they literally booed her off of the stage.
Mm,
Look at her now. So it
right.
just goes to show you at the beginning stages of your life. For you, not winning, what has that taught you? Now you are a multi-award winning singer and
Yeah.
songwriter, and you have your band as well too. And we'll dive into that later in the conversation. But did that moment losing teach you?
It didn't really feel like a loss. There's a friend of mine. He says he's a boxer. He said I never lost. I had wins and L's, wins and lessons. So it was just being on the stage and sharing your talent. In my view, is a win. So, you learn, you develop, you get a feel for the stage, and you come again. And that was the big thing for me, just having a chance to share my talent, having all these outlets from when I was a kid up to now to express myself. So for me, that was a win.
And that you did because in your adult years, you performed at the prestigious MGM Grand, the Beverly Hilton in LA, and the Hard Rock Cafe, and so many others, just to name a few. Yes, I did my research. I took my
Oh,
notes
nice.
and everything.
Love it. Absolutely.
So, with that moment as you're in your adult years,
Mhm.
looking back to that young man who lost the Star Search competition, what would you tell him if you're now, as you're now in your adulthood as a man?
It's only just
What
beginning.
would you?
It's only just beginning, and it. People come into music or other things, other outlets for different reasons. For some it was it helped you come out of your shell. For others it helped to put into music what you can't always put into words. But whatever that is for you, stick to that spark within you, that thing that gets you excited, that thing that brings you joy. Follow that. That's your intuition. It can lead you to some amazing places. You just never know where it'll take you.
Absolutely. And it took you some places as well too. You are the winner of Pittsburgh's Got Talent,
Yes.
and that took you a very long way. Now you have your band and your music career is just taking off. It's like Kelly Rowland say, it's like a blur.
Yeah.
Looking back in your career, the highlights, the wins and the losses,
Mhm.
as you're in your prime right now, how do you feel in this moment? Like, does it feel surreal for you? Because I know I've had moments where I've literally looked back in my career. I've sat with so many people, and you've seen some of the interviews of who I've sat
Mm.
with before setting this one up. Um, I look back, and people will remind me, like, you've done this, and I'm like, well, I can't even remember half of those things. Do they have? Does that happen to you as well too? Where it's just like, you're looking back in your career, and there's certain little things that are fuzzy to you, and you're just like, wow.
Sure. The tendency sometimes is to look at it as in terms of the day to day. As someone else told me, say, never let it just become a job for you. And there are the day to day logistics and the travel and the things of that nature. But it's definitely useful to look back and see, wow, I've done some really amazing things, and always keep that gratitude. I had a chance to share the stage with friend of mine that's now the lead singer of the Commodores. Um, he at the time was a singer of the Average White Band. Had a chance to play arenas. Had a chance to, uh, you know, uh, share the stage with some amazing people. And it's definitely useful and important to look back on some of those things and say we're right to follow that intuition. And you've had a chance to express yourself because of it.
Yes, absolutely. Shout outs to Alvin, Tit for Tat, this and that.
Yes,
Welcome. We had an amazing time. 4 hours of an amazing time last night. Make sure y'all head on over and check out that podcast. And my brother Kate Tooks as well.
mm,
Me and him are big music heads, so this conversation right here is perfect because
nice.
we're talking music and artists. And I've dropped the name of a couple that I love, like Beyonce, like Aaliyah, so
Mm.
many. But another female artist that you've had the pleasure of, on the leg of her tour, which was Faith Evans. You did Summer Jam as well.
Yes.
So looking back at that, what was it like here alongside the First Lady, Faith Evans?
First of all, she is amazing. Not just as an artist, but as a human being. She's so. I can disclose this now. I guess it's over. I actually snuck into her sound check, but we had a chance to hear her, and it was like, my goodness, like you hear her from the record, she sounds amazing. She's one of those artists that's even better live, as great as she is on a record. But I said I have to go out and come meet her, and she was just as gracious as she was talented, and she tore the roof off of Summer Jam. 5,000 people strong. She was a headliner, and she was amazing. But it was just great to be in her presence and just to be able to hear her as well. Amazing experience. It was actually my first arena show that I played. Being on the Pittsburgh Lake tour. Mm.
And I know you must have had a moment when you were sitting backstage, like, wow, this is Faith Evans.
Mm.
You're meeting someone that has been in the business, who was a vet in the business, yourself included as well too.
Mm.
And you're just like, wow, that willpower, that drive. She has a powerful instrument. And I feel as though, as for her as an artist, she doesn't get her just due as well. Not only just that, but at a time where women really wasn't, really wasn't writing songs like that. It was typically
Right.
men that were writing songs. And I had the pleasure of sitting down with, I'm pretty sure you'll probably come in passing with him, Ron Cat Spearman. Ron Cat has worked with Tony Braxton. He's worked with Jade. He's worked with
Oh wow.
Prince, the late. He's worked with so many. And I asked him a question, and this is my question I want to ask you: is what a man week? So it's perfect to know.
For sure.
I said, Ron Cat, what is it like writing for women? Because he wrote for Tony Braxton. And if you go and you listen to her albums, it's like you're coming from a woman's place, but it's actually
Right.
men that are writing songs. And I said, Ron Cat, how do you know how to write for women? Why is it so easy for you to write for women? He was like, because I grew up with my mother, I grew up with my sisters, I grew up surrounded by women, and their experiences of and falling out of love, all of these things. So that's the question that I want to ask you,
For sure.
Hakeem. For you as a songwriter, how was it easy for you to write for women? Where do you pull that inspiration from to write love songs and just songs or loving on
Oh
a
yeah.
woman?
I mean,
Where do you
it's
get the inspiration in that pull from?
yeah. I'd say a couple of things. Love is a universal language, and it's really
Yeah.
a part of that is empathy as well. So you have to, especially when you're writing for someone else, you have to, as much as you can, try to step in their shoes. Love's universal, but how do they experience it? And that's
Mm,
interesting because one of the first songs that it had written that ended up on my album. Originally, I didn't write it for myself. I wrote it for a female artist that was working in at the time 310 Recording Studios. Shout out to Fantail out of Indiana, and she great record. She did enjoy it. She ended up not using it. Uh, so I ended up keeping it, and it ended up being one of the first records that I got that I got consistent airplay as well. So just I would just say that empathy and being able to step in their shoes. I want to know as much as I can about how they experience love, how they experience life, and do my best to communicate that.
because I'm pretty sure me and Chef Sky, we're the only two women here, and Chef Sky will be like us because we are both big R&B heads,
Mm,
and the majority of the audiences, we are all music lovers in here, from Alvin to K2, for especially K Tooks. Me and K Tooks have an obsession with Brandy, and she
mm.
tore the roof off at the basketball game just recently, performing. I think it was the national anthem, one of the
National
two.
anthem, yeah.
Brandy did. A love for Brandy, like that woman is the vocal Bible, and you can tell she studied Whitney Houston. I'm a big Whitney fan as well too. That's all my mother
Mm.
listened to growing up was Whitney Houston, and if not
God
Whitney
rest her soul.
Houston, Tremaine Hawkins. It was Reverend Shirley Caesar. I mean, it was so many powerful female voices. I'm born in the '90s, so I grew up with the Tony Braxtons of the world,
Yeah,
the Janet of the world. Uh, who else was out at the time? Brian McKnight, all of them. Shantae Moore. But Whitney, you can tell Brandy really studied Whitney. So for you, who was it that you studied growing up? I know you said your mom was a singer,
right.
but who else was it you studied to master that art, that cadence? That was an inspiration to you as an artist, as a singer, as a songwriter that you admire.
Brian McKnight was a big one. But the
Oh,
first record I'd ever heard that like made me say like this is something that you hear that you always hear if your music had that band that you wish you was in or that song that you wish you had written as a songwriter. For me, Boys Men is so hard to say about it yesterday because I had never heard a mainstream a cappella song. I was who is this? You gotta let me listen to that again. I was like, nobody ever did that that I'd heard on the radio. And then after they did, everybody started doing it. But that was like that made me think like, my goodness, I got to do that.
and you said acapella. When I think of acapella and male vocalists, male R&B groups, another one of my favorites because I also love jazz as well too. Would
Mhm.
have to be Take Six. We can't talk about Brian McKnight without Take Six. Take
Absolutely,
Six.
yeah.
They had the way they scat, the way they snap I mean, it's certain things that we catch up on in the music. And
Mhm.
even as a listener, as an avid listener, I've listened to some of your music as well too. I watched some of your covers. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. Oh my God, you did a cover for the weekend.
Yeah,
And hit note, I watched it, hit every note, executed it perfectly. And Take Six, yes, Take Six.
Mm,
Because my father has, we have 90.3 down here where I'm at in South Carolina. And my dad will have just jazz music playing. And it's all sorts of artists. Like, I mean, Jill Scott, and then Take
mm.
Six came on. You've got the baritone in the group, you've got
Yeah.
the high note in the group. Everybody has their position and their place in the group. And you catch up on certain things. Instruments. So, what's an instrument as a singer, as a songwriter, as a performer? What's one instrument that you admire, that you've grown to admire? And I know for me, I can catch up on a guitar. Like,
Mm.
another one of my favorite female artists, love this woman to death, love her down, and a dream would be to go see her in concert. That is Sade.
Oh my
That
good.
Love Deluxe,
Yeah.
that Love Deluxe album, Bulletproof Heart.
I had the
it,
absolutely. I
I
had the
play.
privilege of actually seeing her in concert with John Legend as the opener, who stood on his
Oh,
piano. To say that was one tremendous concert. A friend of mine, Dwayne Muhammad, God rest his soul, he got me and my wife free tickets, and tremendous, tremendous show. But to your question about the instrument, I've really come to admire the bass. Like I really want to pick up a bit one because I think I could learn it pretty easily. But a friend of mine that was in a band with me for a little while, he's in another band now, but he played it as well as anybody I ever heard. It's like I never heard it played like that before. If I could pick up an instrument, that would be the one.
but Sade,
Mm,
y'all, if y'all have a favorite Sade album, it can be, what was the one that she did? I cannot remember the one she did in the 2000s. But I know that Love Deluxe,
mm,
that cover is so iconic, and you go and you listen to the songs on it. It's one, Stronger Than Pride is another one of my favorites from her
mm,
as well too. And then I have her greatest hits album. So for you, we're talking about albums now. What
mm.
were your top five? If you had to do a list of your top five favorite R&B albums, and you were, on an island stranded, which top five R&B albums would you take with you? And Fashion Dolls,
Whew,
y'all sound off in the audience as well too, and let me know.
that is a hard one. Ha ha. Okay. Uh, anything by Stevie Wonder, anything by Donny Hathaway,
Oh,
uh, Boys to Men 2, the second album. All the albums were great, but that one was amazing. Uh, Anytime by Brian McKnight. And my goodness, I got a fifth one. Uh, I would have to say Life Jennings. I'm gonna pick a modern one, his first album.
ooh. It's something, to me, Life Jennings reminds me a little bit of, y'all don't eat me up, but when these artists sing, you can hear the realness, the pain, and it's so beautiful to us because we resonate with it. Life reminds me a little bit of Mary J. Blige, because Mary, she sang a place where it's like, okay, oh my God, this is real, this is authentic. This, uh-oh, what happened? Can't hear Hakeem now. Can y'all hear me? Okay, let me see. I think my buds might have went out. Give me 1 second. Can y'all hear me? Give me some green hearts if you can hear me, if you can see me. I think I know what it is. My buds might have went out. Okay, Chef Scott said she can hear me. Oh, check your microphone on the side, Hakeem. It's a microphone on the side. It should be like a toolbar. Okay, y'all can hear me? Okay, y'all. I'm seeing the green hearts. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Check to see if you muted yourself on the side, Hakeem. It should be like a microphone, a bar, and then it should be like a where you flip the camera at the top, and then the second one is a microphone. You can hear me and see me. His sound went out. That's crazy. Wait a minute. Okay. How about now? Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? I'm seeing the chat. Hakeem's sound went out, y'all. I know what to do. Okay, can you hear me now? We're gonna have to start a new live. I'm gonna do a part two, Fashion Dolls, and we'll be right back. Because his sound went out. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna send Hakeem a new link to join me live. I'm gonna start a new live. We'll be right back, Fashion Dolls, and we'll continue the conversation on music and get into our trivia. So I'll be right back. This will be part one.